Hey, in this video, I'm building this small-ish bungalow. It's based off of a floor plan, house plan that I found on the Internet Archive. I think it's from the 1920s. One of those old, made-to-order houses that they had big catalogs for. I really like looking at those old floor plans. They have some really interesting ones. The one I chose is really simple because I'm not an extremely experienced builder in The Sims. It's only something I've gone into recently, so I didn't want to do anything really big or complex for this, especially because I'm also still getting to grips with making videos about it. It took me a while to figure out what the vibe of the house was. I knew that I wanted to have this kind of weathered old siding, but I couldn't figure out a color scheme for a while. If you saw the thumbnail or anything, it doesn't look anything like this at the end. The red was not working. And I also had to cut out big chunks because I haven't built a lot with the bespoke build set yet, and I was still figuring out how to work with it. I had an absolute nightmare doing the gingerbread trim here on the porch, and then I ended up getting rid of most of it in the end anyway. But yeah, kind of my vague idea for the vibe of the house was I wanted it to be kind of coastal feeling. I wanted it to be a little bit kind of old-fashioned, and I was thinking a lot about 1990s American films and TV shows that kind of built my perception of what an American house looks like. And I was sort of going along the lines of that, I think what young people call whimsigothic, Sabrina the Teenage Witch and The Craft and Practical Magic, and the kind of color schemes of the kind of light witchy look. And one of my inspiration points was these window recolors that I found on the Sims resource with these star pattern shutters. I think they're so cool, and I really wanted to build a house with them. There's two other windows that I also found that I like. Really, the whole house is based around these three different windows. The other two are stained glass. One of them's here, this big stained glass window that's a 4:2 conversion, and then the other one is these recolors of this bay window from, I think it's from Open for Business. But yeah, I really wanted the stained glass and the star shutters, and it's maybe a bit much all at once, but I wanted it to be a little bit gaudy almost, and a bit kooky. I can't think of the word. Maybe kooky is the word. But yeah, kind of where an eclectic grandmother might live. And the structure of the house in terms of the floor plan and everything, I mostly stuck with the original floor plan that I was following. The only thing I changed was I jutted out the side a bit to make room for a fireplace, and I took down a wall to make the living and dining room or the dining room and the kitchen, feel more kind of open and spacious, because the kitchen is quite small in the original version, but everything else, like the front and back porch, were on the original plan. It looks like a really cute house. I hope whoever built it in the 1920s had a nice time. I settled on the white and purple colour scheme because I thought the white allowed the windows to stand out a lot more, and then the purple is a nice dark contrast while still being a bit whimsical and cute. And I skipped over a lot of my wallpapering decisions because I kept changing my mind, and none of this wallpaper stays the same at the end, but the flooring mostly does. I just stuck with simple wood for most of it, other than the cute tiles in the bathroom and the kitchen. And when it came to the interior decor, I tried to think about who I would want to live in this house, and I decided it's a mother and her teenage daughter who maybe inherited the house from grandparents or something, so it's got a lot of old-fashioned fixtures and antique furniture and rugs and old wallpaper and dark paneling and all that, but then a few kind of slightly more modern touches in places. I have way too many rug recolors, so I can spend so long deciding what rug to choose. And I put those little slippers in the front of the door because I thought it would be a cute little touch, as if they take their shoes off in the house, even though they all just tread mud inside in The Sims. No one takes their shoes off. I normally don't decorate bathrooms that much because I just, I don't really care. It's a bathroom, but I got really into it in this build, and I really liked how it turned out. You can see there I split the kitchen and dining room with a half wall instead of a full wall, just to make it less claustrophobic looking. Here's where that kind of old-fashioned grandmother's house idea starts to come into play a bit, with that toilet with the string pull. I cannot remember the last time I used a toilet with a string pull. I don't know if they even exist anymore. I remember a lot of people having them when I was a kid, but then I grew up in the middle of nowhere, rural Ireland, so we weren't that up to date on mod cons. I don't know if people put ceiling fans in bathrooms because we don't have them where I live. I've never seen a ceiling fan in someone's house. I don't really understand what they're for, to be honest, but I thought it looked cool in the bathroom. I thought the wood just like made a nice contrast. And then I decided to change the like walls on the porch to a fence, and it made it feel a lot nicer. And I'm like not the best at landscaping. It's something I normally don't bother with that much, but I tried to make the garden look nice with this. I realised that like a big gap in my custom content collection is plants. I literally don't have any outdoor plants other than what came with the game, and I think I was able to make the garden look pretty nice, like with that limitation. But yeah, I want to get more. Building this made me realize I need more if I'm gonna have like interesting landscaping at all. But yeah, I just put these little flower beds around the pathing and some like short brick fencing as well. Oh, and I spent ages trying to make this pond like exactly the right size. I cut out most of it from the video because it was really annoying to watch. But I got there eventually, just a cute little pond in the front. And I do change the front path back to the default version, so if that's annoying you, don't worry. I realised it looks wrong when it's like joined on each side with a non-brick path. If you can hear any background noise in my audio recording, it's because there's fireworks outside my house, even though bonfire night was like 5 days ago. People are still going. I've been having technical difficulties all day. I've been trying to record and just things kept going wrong. And then as soon as I got things working, the fireworks started, but I just didn't want to wait any longer. So I hope it's not too audible. I'll try and edit it to make it sound passable. And I changed the floor tiles to a more kind of vintage style one. I really like this like William Morris wallpaper that I installed it like specifically for this house, and I wanted more William Morris, so I tried to find more, but I couldn't find any that I liked, so I like took a detour from the build for a few days to teach myself to make wallpapers, and I made like a lot. I made more wallpapers than I needed. But yeah, it's pretty cool that it's not that hard, and now it's like, if I ever can't find the wallpaper I'm picturing it in my head, I can just make it myself. It's pretty fun. I'm still getting to grips with OMSPs, because I've never really used them before. I was pretty basic with my decorating for most of the time I've played The Sims 2. So if I look like I'm struggling with the O's and with the oh my god, it's so hard to say, OMSPs, it's because I was. Oh, and I decided they have a cat, the family who live here. So I started placing pet objects around the place, because it just looks like a house where a cat would live. You know, whoever decorates their house like this has a cat. The living room was the room I struggled with the most because it's like this odd long shape, and I couldn't really picture like how it would have been furnished in real life in the original house plan. So eventually I kind of ended up splitting it like into two spaces. I have this space over by the entryway with the sewing machine and everything, and then everything like beyond the door to the hallway is the actual living area. Yeah, it's just this weird long rectangular room. I'd be really interested to see pictures of like the actual insides of these houses that were built from those catalogs. I don't know if there's like, I mean, I probably won't be able to find one for this specific house, but for like mail order houses in general, I wonder if there's a database somewhere that shows like how they held up and how people lived in them. Because, yeah, it's hard to imagine the actual furnishings in some of the layouts. They're quite odd sometimes. And I ended up taking out the like mantelpiece proper fireplace because I thought a little stove like this would suit the kind of cozy vibes of the house a bit more. I was picturing it as kind of like a coastal cottage kind of, with the like weathered white siding on the outside. It just felt, yeah, it felt like something you'd find near the sea. And that kind of started to inform the inside decorating a little bit as well, with the kind of more rustic look that I was going for, I guess. I put some like cabinets here because I was imagining it as kind of storage for sewing supplies or something. Yeah, and here I started on the bedroom for the teenage daughter. My idea for it was like, I wanted it to look like someone's bedroom from when they were a child, like that they're trying to make work as a teenager. So kind of you've got these pink walls and pink rug from childhood, and then putting like grungy posters on the wall to try and like make the pinkness feel edgy somehow and grown up. And I was like struggling with furniture choices for a while until I settled on the idea that, like, again, like I was saying before, I was imagining this as like an old house that you've inherited from your grandparents. So I started to imagine, I guess the furniture is probably inherited as well, and started using this like old antique heavy dark wood furniture, like the bed and the end table here, and the like kind of quaint worn out little vanity table. This is one of my favorite pieces of custom content that I've downloaded recently, the fairy lights on the mirror. I think they're so cute. The only thing is you can't see them unless you have the walls up, which is a little bit annoying, but they're still really cool. Yeah, and I imagine the mother in this house being a bit kind of hippie-ish, like a bohemian artist type, so that's why she has the easel and everything in her room. And here I'm doing some of that like toy clutter to add to what I was saying before about it being like a childhood bedroom that's not quite been outgrown yet. And then I suddenly remembered about the cat and started putting pet beds and litter boxes around the place. And this cute little pet house that I found on Sims Resource with the awning on it is really cute. And again, struggling with OMSPs. Everything that I used will be linked, by the way, all the custom content, and I'll upload the lot itself. There are like some things that you'll have to download first if you want the lot, like the bespoke build set and stuff like that. If you don't have them already, which I think most people do, but just in case. And I have this like cute lighthouse lamp. Again, what I was saying about it being like kind of a coastal cottage, even though I didn't think about that when I started building the house, so it's not actually near the sea at all, it's just in a field, but I'll probably move it at some point to be near the sea. This stove makes me so nostalgic, because I think I was saying before about how I grew up in rural Ireland without many mod cons. And one of the mod cons we didn't have was central heating. Our entire house was heated by a tiny black stove, just like that one. Oh my god, it used to be so cold. I always thought central heating was like a luxury for rich people. I didn't realise that normal people had it in most other parts of Europe. I never know what to do with hallways. Like, what do people put in hallways? No house I've lived in has ever had a decorated hallway. So I just kept it very simple with like a couple of paintings and one plant. And then I think I put like a pet bed in there for the cat as well. This stove was infuriating because it kept clipping into the window, and then when I tried to like unclip it, the counter would snap away, so it wasn't a corner counter anymore. I had to fuss with it for so long to get it to just look right, but I got there in the end. Oh, this quilt is so cute for above the cat's bed. I'm just kind of obsessed with quilts. Like, I really want to make a quilt in real life. And I've never like had that urge before I started getting more into decorating in The Sims 2, and I started using the different quilts in all of my builds, and now I'm like, wow, quilts are really a great invention. Another gap that I realized in my custom content collection is painting recolors. I like really struggled to find paintings that worked in this house because most of the paintings I have are just the ones from the game, and most of them are quite ugly. Like, a lot of them did work for this though, because I wanted like that old-fashioned like random paintings that your grandma had look, and I think I got it to work in the end. And also, I couldn't find any like fireplace clutter. If that's something anyone knows about, like, please tell me. I just want like, you know, like fireplace tools and stuff. I looked for ages and I could find like one basket of wood that I used in this build and nothing else. Like, you know, some like fire pokers or anything like that. Surely someone's made those at some point, but I haven't been able to find them. I'm making this nice little back patio area. This wasn't on the original house plan. The original house plan just had the small porch, but yeah, I thought a little like barbecue and eating area would be cute. And I'm pretty close to the end here. I'm just doing like finishing touches with the flowers and the window boxes, and then I have like a little bit more landscaping to do around the sides and the back. And here's the finished house. It's pretty simple. The windows are doing a lot of the work, and that's kind of what my idea was starting this, because the starting point was the windows. I wanted it to be very much like small, simple house, very extravagant windows. The bay window is the star of the show. I love the bay window with the stained glass. And I'm really happy with how the little back patio came out. Considering I'm not like that confident with landscaping, I really like how I managed to make the garden look, even though it's not that like extravagant or anything. It's pretty nice. And here's the entryway. Yeah, it's pretty simple. Just got like the telephone bench and a little hutch for all the household things. Here's the living room with the nice stove. It's just very cozy and warm feeling. I love that lighthouse lamp so much. And the little sewing corner. There's the cat. His name's Gilbert. He's really cute. I'm really happy with the hallway. I like the way the painted floors make it feel a little bit like cute and interesting, even though it's still very simple. And I didn't know that cats could sit in bay windows. I was so pleased to find that out. And this is Kirsty, one of the Sims that I made for this house. She likes to cook and she does ballet and plays the violin. She's pretty nice. I'm really excited to play with her. Here's the bathroom. I was really happy with how it came out. Yeah, as bathrooms go, I think it's pretty cute. This is Kirsty in her room with the cat. I would love my room to look like this. I think it's so cute. With the doll houses and the ballerina posters and everything. It's like, yeah. And this is Olivia, Kirsty's mother, who's an artist. She's not that good, but she's getting there. Yeah, this is the wallpaper that I made. I only ended up using it in one room, but I'm happy with how it came out. So as I said, everything I used is linked in the description. I wrote a big document with links and credit for everything. And if you want to have this house in your neighborhood, I included a download file for it. There's certain prerequisites that you have to download for it to show up properly, but I explain all that in the document. So yeah, I hope you enjoy, and thank you for watching.